put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, and welcome to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. It is Friday, 17th January 2025, and we're coming to you live from the Milford Road Esplanade. Yes, I am Adana Combi, and this is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. Just in case you're wondering, it is the last day that we're on the outside. We spent the entire week at the Milford Road Esplanade, and of course, we were bringing to you all the conversations that we need to have about things happening in and around Tobago. So of course, indeed, it is a pleasure. It is a pleasure speaking with you. It is a pleasure engaging with you as you pass by and see us here on the Esplanade. We have a wonderful show lined up for you this morning, and we're so happy that you're joining us. But before we get into all of those conversations, we head on over to the news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Adana. Here is your news in 90 seconds for Friday, January 17th, 2025. National Carnival Commission Chairman Winston Peters confirmed that Carnival 2025 will cost taxpayers over $140 million. Despite this, competition prices remain unchanged due to financial constraints. Peters emphasized adapting to current challenges while highlighting increased support for unsponsored steel bands. Tobago distributed checks to 149 bands thanks to successful negotiations with the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and the Arts. President Beverly Ramsey Moore noted efforts to secure private sector funding, rebranding and attracting corporate sponsors. Allocations for single bands and conventional bands have risen to 10,000 and 20,000 respectively, aiding preparation. Up next, the Trinidad and Tobago Unified Teachers Association cautiously welcomed Prime Minister-designate Stuart Young's proposed education reforms, which aims to shift from a colonial system to one reflecting TNT's cultural and incorporating AI and technology. Tutor President Martin Longcame praised the acknowledgement of systematic issues but remained skeptical about promises. He emphasized addressing broader challenges such as school infrastructure. And finally, the Tobago National Panorama 2025 Small Conventional Bands semi-finals will be held this Saturday, January 18th at Victoria Square. A total of 31 small conventional bands, including 7 bands from Tobago, will participate in the competition. All the best to the Tobago bands. And this was the news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Biana, for our news there in 90 seconds. Of course, you know, once it's panorama time and we have Tobago bands participating, Tobago will be present. Whether we are there physically or we are glued behind our televisions, of course, we'll be rooting for all the Tobago bands. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the morning where we celebrate with those who are celebrating. It's time for our birthday shout-outs. And our first birthday celebrant for this morning is Miss Nidra Stewart. Nidra Stewart is celebrating a birthday, and we say happy birthday to you, Nidra. We pray God's blessings upon your life, and we do hope that you have a wonderful birthday. So happy birthday to you, Nidra. Next is Nikisha Melville. Nikisha Melville is celebrating a birthday today, and we do hope that you have a wonderful birthday. We pray God's blessings upon your life, and we do hope that you continue to have a wonderful birthday season. Next up, belated birthday greetings going out to Mrs. Erna Allen Dick, who celebrated her birthday yesterday, coming from Mrs. Abby Allen Moore and the Methodist Church family. So happy birthday to you, happy belated birthday to you, and we do hope that your birthday season is exciting. And bringing up the birthday celebrations, we have a happy birthdays going out to Mrs. Pamela Leslie, aka Auntie Pam, from her children and all of her loved ones. And guess what? Auntie Pam has turned 90. It's her 90th birthday today. So of course we must celebrate you in fine style. Of course we want to say that and look at that photograph. Auntie Pam, Auntie Pam knows about fashion and style. And we want to say a special happy birthday to you, coming to you from all of us here at the Tobago Updates Television family. And of course, Auntie Pam would have been celebrating her 70th wedding anniversary. Unfortunately, unfortunately her husband passed, so condolences there. But we do wish you the most out of life, Auntie Pam. Continue to live, continue to love, and continue to enjoy God's blessings upon your life. So happy birthday to you. And of course, if you are celebrating a birthday and we don't have your photograph, we join in the celebrations with you, and we do hope that you remember to put God first, include God in your birthday celebrations. Whether it's your birthday, your anniversary, or retirement, or promotion, whatever you are celebrating, we join in the celebration with you, and we say congratulations and happy celebration to you. It's Friday morning. Yes, it's the day before the weekend. In fact, the weekend has already started for some persons. What are you up to this weekend? Let us know. Join in on our Facebook live stream so we can see your comments and know what is going on where you are concerned. But here's what. Who are we speaking with this morning in our outdoor studio? In fact, remember, this set is sponsored by Courts Furniture Store. You can find them at the ground floor on the Scarborough Port Mall or at the Lowlands Mall. Yes, and they have wonderful furniture and appliances in store. You can make purchases there. Who are we speaking with this morning in studio? We start off the conversation by speaking with Dr. Faith Brebner, Secretary of Health, Wellness and Social Protection. You might have heard rumors in the social media about the HMPV. Yes, and of course we want to have that conversation this morning. What exactly is this virus? What does it mean, and what does it mean for us here in Trinidad and Tobago, and primarily in the Tobago space? So we're going to have that conversation. We also speak, of course, with one of the vendors right here on the Milford Road Esplanade, Leah's Saloon. We're going to have that conversation as well. And you know, it's Friday, so Mr. Cricket is in studio as well. Yes, Marcus Daniel is here, and he will be having conversations with his sports guest, giving you all the information about things happening sports-wise here on the island of Tobago. So you must stay with us. Whether you're viewing right here in Tobago, in Trinidad, the Caribbean region, the United States of America, Canada, England, all of Europe, Asia, Africa, Australia, wherever you are. Thank you so much. Whether you're viewing on our Facebook live stream, on our YouTube channel, or on Amplia 102, this is your opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
When the game is on, you don't want to miss the best moments. With Amplia TV, you can enjoy our ultimate sports package and watch your favorite games on the go. Stay connected and informed with sports news, scores, and stats with Amplia's fastest internet speeds. Up to 1 GB fiber internet, you can stream riveting football action, cricket, NBA games, and much more. With Amplia, it's game on. Visit amplia.co.tt or call 800-4663. Amplia. Do more, live more.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrell Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrell Springs. Contact 49 Swift 4979 438.
Attention, members of TWCU Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited. Are you ready to take the next step and help shape your credit union's future? This is your chance to get involved. We're now accepting nominations for elections at our 75th Annual General Meeting 2025. Open positions include spots on the Supervisory Committee, the Board of Directors, and the Credit Committee. Nomination packages are available on our website www.twcu.co.tt, or you can pick one up at our Port of Spain or Tobago offices. The completed forms can be dropped off at the said offices or emailed to nominations@twcu.co.tt no later than January 17, 2025 at 3 p.m. For more information, visit our website at www.twcu.co.tt. Don't miss this opportunity to make a difference. Apply today and guide the future of your credit union. TWCU Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited. Our credit union, one family.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, and thank you so much for staying with us. In case you're wondering, or for those of you who are joining us for the first time for the week, we are on the outside. Yes, we are at the Milford Road Esplanade here in downtown Scarborough, Tobago, and our lovely set is sponsored by Courts Furniture Store. You can find them on the ground floor of the Port Mall or at the Lowlands Mall, so check them out and see what is happening there. We are going to begin our conversation this morning, and our first guest is in our outdoor studio this morning. We're speaking with Dr. Faith Brebner. She's the Secretary of Health, Wellness and Social Protection, and she's here this morning. We're going to have a very, very important conversation. You might have heard about a new strain virus called the HMPV. We're going to find out exactly what that means and what does it mean for us here in the local space, Tobago. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, and thank you for having me. And it's wonderful being outside this morning. Yeah. I like this setup. I really do like this setup.
Yes, and we've been enjoying our time out here. In fact, we've been asking persons to come outside, take a jog, take a stroll, breathe in the morning fresh air. And of course, as a doctor, you would see all the benefits where that is concerned. So I understand why you enjoy that. So we want to get into the conversation. You know, we've been hearing that there's a new strain virus called the HMPV. For those of us who don't know what that means, can you explain to us what this means?
Certainly. So let's start with the fact that this is not new. And I want to highlight the fact that we have been, I'm glad I'm here, and I'm glad I'm here to bring clarity to something that is quite common. As a matter of fact, the fact that I am here having to have this conversation is kind of testament to the idea of people running with information when they don't really have information. It's equivalent to asking somebody like me who don't know nothing about construction and engineering to build a house. Don't do that. So having a public health background, so my doctoral degree is in public health, not medicine, just one quick correction there. I thought it important to come and clear the air. One is not a new virus, Tobago. It not. We discovered it, as in the medical community discovered it since 2000, and it's been around. 2001 is when the official thing was identified, and it's better known. So the HMPV is human, H, meta, pneumo virus. And what is that? You see, when you say, as my mother says, children always have a common cold. Children nose always running. They're always coughing. They're always looking sick around a particular time. More than likely, it is this virus that they have. So it is really, really common. It is so common to the point that we don't even really test for it because it's one of the many virus that causes respiratory infections. And when I say many, there are really many. And there is really almost no point in wasting your resources to try to pinpoint that it is exactly this virus that's causing the problem. Because it's really the common cold.
So what exactly, because there is a scare And I think you spoke to it initially in terms of not really knowing, and so you're making assumptions. There is a scare, there's a panic in the atmosphere. In fact, you saw somewhere on social media that the first case was reported in a hospital in Trinidad, right? And people, of course, are panicking, oh my goodness, likening it to COVID-19. So let's break that down.
So I think the scare is happening because we experienced COVID. We experienced COVID in a time when we have social media, and we had social media that allowed us to give amplified sound or amplified voices to people who didn't know what they were talking about. So remember around COVID, we had all kind of people talking all kind of thing. I remember this one guy, for example, did a video after he claimed to have taken the vaccine, did a video and put a light bulb on the hand, and then you realize, no, it's not the vaccine that causing the light bulb to light. It's just a regular emergency light that when you push it against a surface, it lights. But because of during COVID, so many people spoke about so many things, so many people said so many things that were frightening, and the world really changed during that period. We are kind of on high alert and we are anxious because we don't want to experience COVID again. So any little thing that we think would take us back to that causes us to exaggerate. And to be honest, there are quite a lot of people who are out there in internet land who are just mischievous, because a lot of the videos that is in circulating that showing China practically dropped down dead you know, if you look back, I'm sure if you search, those were probably footage from some movie or, you know, something like that. And, you know, you talked about the case that was identified. So, yes, we understand that there may have been a case that was identified, but it's really because for some reason they tested that person. But it's not even common to test for that because it is just so common.
So we don't need to be in a panic. We don't need to be in a tizzy. We just basically need to take personal responsibility for our health, and that's where I want the conversation to go now. How do we as humans, as people in communities and society and in public spaces, how do we take care of ourselves to ensure that we don't fall victim to any virus that might be going around? Or if we do end up with a virus, how do we protect ourselves and the persons around us?
Certainly. So we are going back to, in essence, the same things we've been talking about around COVID time. Your hands. Remember, before you go into anywhere, you are washing your hands, sanitizing your hand. Why is that the case? Because usually when we are sick, we cough, we sneeze, we rub our eyes because the eyes itchy a little bit. And usually all of that happens to your hands. What does that mean? The virus that's inside of you is now on your hand. What do you need to do? Wash it off of your hand. Soap and water literally kills the virus. Alcohol kills the virus. So you're going back to washing your hands. Don't play nasty. Don't be nasty, people. Wash your hands. If you're trying not to put your hands by your mouth, your eyes, your nose, because that is where we transfer it from. So, for example, somebody sneezes. You've been in front of a baby that sneezes. You feel all of it. Yeah? In those droplets are where the virus would get transmitted from that person to the other person. Yeah? So somebody sneezed, it got onto the table, it got onto their hand, it got onto a doorknob, you touch the doorknob, it comes onto your hand, you put your hand by your eye, you've now infected yourself. So stop touching your face. Stop touching your face with your dirty hand. Yeah? If you recognize that you have a cough, you are sneezing, you feel like you kind of have a cold, cover yourself, cover your mouth. So we go back to masking if you wish. I see people walking around with masks because they are feeling cold. They're feeling like they have a little flu, like they have a little cold. They know that they are sneezing, so they are protecting themselves and they are protecting others as well. Keep your mouth covered. Cough into the crook of your elbow. So that you may not have something a tissue or something to cough into. Instead of just coughing and having it just go into the air, put it in here, and then, you know, you could clear that and sanitize that after. So these are the things that we've been telling people all along. And it's the same things we're telling you again to do this time.
I know, and you really do have to be very aware, because sometimes we take things for granted and we just, I just hanging out and I rest my hand on this chair and, I want to rub my nose and my hand goes to the nose. In terms of the public education aspect of it, especially for the school children, because as you mentioned, your mom always says that children always have the cold, they always have some virus, which is true. And for me, I find their resilience much higher than ours. I don't know if it's scientifically proven, I can't respond to that, but for some reason they just get over it faster than us. Is there any plan for public education to roll out so that people can be more aware, the awareness can be heightened, so they know the do's and the don'ts? We did a lot of that for COVID. Is it something that is planned to take place, and is it something that we're going to continue doing throughout the year?
So it's something that we've been doing. So we are basically in what we now classify as the cold and flu season. There's a part, there are just a couple months where we seem to get more cold and flus. Our public health department have been doing a good job, particularly the office of the CMOH, which includes a health education unit, has actually been doing this. They've been going around, going to school. So this is not something that we get up January morning and realize, oh my God, we need to do something. We have had competitions, for example, in schools where you have to make a video showing how to wash your hands with the preschoolers and the primary schoolers. It is that kind of thing that we've been doing throughout the year that continually reinforce these simple preventative mechanisms that, again, very, very simple. Wash your hand, cover your cough. Those are simple things are what we've been continuing to repeat at every stage.
This is absolutely amazing that we have the clarification about the HMPV. We understand now that it's a common virus. I might have had it before, you might have had it before, unknown. It is not.
As a matter of fact, when you look at the statistics, it's so common that we have all had it at some point. The fact that we are at this age, we've all had it at some point.
There you go. There you go. There you go. So it's nothing to be alarmed about, but the responsibility is yours to take care of yourself, take your vitamins, wash your hands, keep your environment as clean as possible, and be responsible. If you have a sniffle, if you have a cough, try not to be around people, or as Dr. Faith said, to cough in the crook of your arm instead of just coughing it out and having those droplets in the atmosphere and possibly landing on someone who can also contract a virus. We don't want these things happening. In closing, is there anything else you'd like to share with our viewers?
Certainly. I want to say though, so for the vast majority of people, it's really just mild symptoms. There are a few people though who the symptoms get a little bit more than mild. This particular virus are usually, children are usually the ones who get it more than adults. Of course, adults get it as well. If you recognize though that you have a child and the child seems to be having a challenge breathing, so you're seeing them having difficulty breathing, you're seeing them with their lungs, it looks like, when you see the belly raising and falling and they seem to be really, really uncomfortable and they are struggling, definitely seek medical attention, because it means that the pneumonia part of it, the affecting of your lungs part of it, is actually further than the normal mild symptoms, and that is where you need to be concerned. So if you have a child or anybody who has those kinds of symptoms and it seems like they're really struggling to breathe in particular, get yourself to a health facility, because it means you need a little help getting over the viral infection.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Faith, for coming this morning, explaining this, bringing clarity, and of course giving us tips as to how to keep ourselves safe from viruses, and if we do come into contact with one, what to do.
Certainly.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. We've been speaking with Dr. Faith Brebner, Secretary of Health, Wellness and Social Protection, and Assemblyman as well. Let me not forget to put that part in, bringing us information about the virus HMPV and the effects of it, and how you can protect yourself from any virus, how you can keep yourself safe, your environment safe, and the persons around you. We have to go for a short break before we continue conversations, and we do hope that you can stay with us. And as you stay, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back. Thank you so much.
Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. We're coming to you live from the Milford Road Esplanade, and our wonderful set is sponsored by Courts Furniture Store. You can find them at the Lowlands Mall. Yes, go down there and check out what they have in store. You might want to make a purchase. You might want to redesign or redecorate your home, and they have just the right stuff for you. As you are aware, because we are on the Milford Road Esplanade, we can't have a show without speaking to the vendors here at the Esplanade. And we want right now to introduce you to a conversation we had with the owner of Leah's Saloon right here. The interview was conducted by Luke James Tribb, one of our hosts here on the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. So do stay tuned for the conversation as it unfolds.
Alright viewers, so I'm working here at Tobago Updates, and I have some lovely co-workers who have been bullying me about my toes and fingers, how it's looking. But thankfully right here at the Esplanade, there's someone who can come save me. So right now I'm here and I'm with Miss Leah Sintele, the owner of Leah's Empire. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Okay, great. So first I want to thank you for saving me, because I have some co-workers there. The things they have been saying about my hands and my toes, it's crazy. So what would have inspired you to start this business?
Well, at a young age, I was a young mother. And I was looking for ways to, see about my kids and whatnot. And then the opportunity arrived where there was a class. And I took the class and I started to fall in love with nails. And here I am today, still loving nails.
Okay, great. So tell me about little Leah, the young girl growing up. How was that for you? Was doing nails a passion that you had from that age, or you discovered it when you were a bit older?
Actually, I liked hair. And like I said, I was a young mother. And started to do the nails. I realized that I had talent. And I started to enjoy doing it. And I grew a passion for it.
Okay, nice.
But at a young age, no.
Okay, understood.
Yeah, so I developed it along the way.
And how has the journey been for you thus far, starting off a business, your own business? You're the boss, you're the CEO, you have to handle everything. How has that been for you?
It has been challenging, but it's something I welcome. It has been ups and downs, you know. Sometimes in this business it fluctuates. Sometimes you have a lot of clients. Sometimes with opening business, during the years I've had salons, I closed down, open. So it's a challenge, but I enjoy doing it. I accept it.
Understood. And I love hearing the passion in your voice. It's always a pleasure when you meet a business owner that's passionate about the work that they are doing. And Miss Leah, I just want to ask you some of the services that you offer. You can take your time, list it out so everyone can know, okay, whenever I'm bored and I don't want to go no long distance, the Esplanade is right here for me to just, spruce up yourself.
Okay, well, what I offer pedicures. And why I love doing pedicures, because a lot of people, especially men, they don't like to come and get pampered because they say something feminine. And I want to encourage the men to come and pamper themselves. When they wear the slippers, the toes must look nice and the heel must look good just like ladies. So I want to inspire all the men of Tobago or Trinidad, when you come over to Tobago, to come and get a pedicure. I love cleaning feet.
Especially with Valentine's Day coming up, that's a period where the hands are usually busy, and there are those where the feet is not out of bounds in their little moments. So I really appreciate the service you have, because as a young man you need to have yourself looking good, especially when you want to do certain activities. You can't be doing those things with the black thing stick up under your fingernails and your toes looking like some
nice expensive slippers and the foot rusty, right?
So I understand. And what other services do you offer?
Well, I also do manicure, that's the hand. I do Gel X, that's a new service I implemented. Gel X, I do polygel, I do acrylics, I do press-ons. So yeah.
All right, and your services, give us a price range.
Oh well, another thing. In this industry, prices have gone sky high. So what I do, I love doing nails so much, I don't really watch it as a job. I do it, and I do it for like single mothers like myself, who, you have a lot of responsibilities and you want to look nice, but you don't have the finance. I am a nail tech that you could come to my salon and still pay a price that you used to pay 4 years ago. I would do services. If you can't pay for the expensive ones, I will also say, well, all right, I could do this, cut costs for you just to make sure you look nice. So my prices vary from $150 and up.
Okay, lovely.
It depends on the services that you want, Nice.
And for the young business owners out there who are probably watching this video, who are probably in the same field and they want to get into this type of business, what are some motivational tips you want to leave with them?
I want to leave a tip especially for young ladies. Young ladies who have dropped out of school, who think that they have nowhere to go, that they have to look for a man for money. There is courses available, and I want to advise them to take the time to actually invest in themselves. Invest in yourself as a young woman, no matter what your challenges is. Like this nail course, even if you want, you could come and ask me, Leah, you could give me a course. There's always ways to make $1.
Okay, understood.
So that's what I want to encourage, that don't give up. And there's things you can do to make money, to make yourself comfortable and not dependent on a man.
Okay, understood. That's a really, really good tip. And for people who want to contact you, how can they reach out to you?
Well, I have a page on Instagram called Get Glam with Lee. And you could also contact me on my phone number at 472-5177. And of course, I'm on the Esplanade, booth 4A, right behind the I Love Tobago sign. And I work otherwise. So from Monday to Friday, I'll be here from afternoon. And on Saturdays, I'll be here from 9.
Okay.
So anyone who want to contact me, just use the phone number and we'll make arrangements.
You're lovely, Miss Leah. So I want to thank you so much, not only for chatting with us, but for saving me. Because if you hear the things my co-workers were saying,
well, they wouldn't say that anymore.
Exactly about my bite up fingers, the things they say about my toes, Miss Leah, and you were right here. So convenient, booth 4A, right in the Esplanade. So as soon as I finished my interview and I got bullied by them, I just had to show over. Right. So I'm waiting to show them my finished look and hear what they have to say now. But thank you so much, Miss Leah.
And thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, viewers. So if you're looking for that convenient spot, that opportunity where you can fix up your foot, fix up your hands, male and female, Lee's Empire is right here for you, located at booth 4A at the Esplanade. So check them out, check her out, because they are right here waiting for you.
Yes, we are.
Viewers, you know we are on the Milford Road Esplanade, and we cannot come on the Milford Road Esplanade without speaking to the vendors here. And right now we are speaking with Miss Wendy Devines of Wendy Homemade Delicacies. And Miss Wendy already has her container with her seasonings getting ready to put into the pot. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Right, so I mean, in here, I'm seeing all this fresh seasoning that I'm aware of. I know about the shadow benny that they call bandania sometimes,
Yes,
French time. What are you getting ready to prepare right now?
Well, right now on the stove, I have the pork and the chicken. So I'm going to add the fresh seasoning.
Right.
Because this is what really brings out the flavor in the meat.
Right, and what type of food do you usually cook? Is it Creole type food? When they say homemade delights, tell us.
Well, it's like, Creole food. You know, as they just call backyard cooking. So this is the kind of cooking local, the word local.
Right.
Right? So this is the kind of cooking I really want to really indulge in most in the town to really get away from the fried food, because you know these days people are looking at their health. So I do not want to come to town to really put anybody's health at risk.
Right.
You know, so I really would like to do something different.
Right.
Yes.
So can we have a look at what's cooking in this pot?
Sure.
I know you're going to add the seasonings now. Ooh, ladies and gentlemen, when you're in a kitchen and it smells like this, ooh.
So this is the pork. This is the pork.
Right. And what is it served with usually?
Well, this today I'm serving with corn dumpling and the provision. You can see the provision. It's already in the
and it's so nice and clean.
So this is the provision.
Nice. So, Miss Wendy, how long have you been a vendor here at the Milford Road Esplanade?
Well, it was from October when the carnival season. I was here, but I didn't really fully open. But I got the chance to make like fish broth and stuff like that. So now is like from January when I really start operating.
Right.
So it was just not even a year.
And how has it been since you've been here?
Well, you know, sometimes the sale does good and sometimes it doesn't good because the traffic to come in on the Esplanade is really slow.
Right.
Right. So the organization say they are working on getting the traffic to come more.
And this is the chicken here?
Yes, this is the chicken.
Right.
Right.
So what time do you usually start serving meals from?
Well,
I know Miss Wendy, viewers, Miss Wendy is busy in her kitchen and I'm just in her space, so just allow her to do what she's doing.
I just try to start to serve from 11 because most time people like the lunch like from 11, half past 11. Right? So I just try to get the serving time from half past 11, 12 o'clock for the latest.
Right.
So this is my hot water here. I always have to get the kettle ready because you cannot pour cold water in the pot.
Right.
That just take away from the flavor.
Really? So if you pour cold water and it takes away from the flavor, the water has to be hot?
Yeah, the water has to keep it boiling.
Right. Gotcha. So what are some of the favorite things that people like to buy here?
Well, they like this stewed pork, they like this stewed chicken, the okra fish, because I have fish to come. I haven't put on the fish as yet. You know, they like lots of okra in the fish. So the people love this kind of food. When I don't cook this kind of food, it does not sit well.
They like the local cuisine.
They like the local cuisine, yes.
And what days do you open?
Well, for now, as how it's slow, I just open mostly on Thursdays and Fridays.
Right.
Because those are the days that you find people just more be out and relaxing from their day's work and you know, it's a more relaxing day. You know, you're toning down from the hectic Monday to Wednesday thing.
Right.
So Thursday and Friday is when I just really cook this kind of food.
You know? And you know, how long have you been cooking? What got you into cooking to sell for people?
Well, I love cooking. And you know, from cooking and serving out for harvest and thing, people always telling me, well, they love the taste of the food and all that. So I say, well, look, if the people getting the food free and they love the taste, well, probably if I sell it, they will buy it because I know the taste is good.
That's right.
Yes.
Well, that's very, very good. Your kitchen smells absolutely lovely, and I do hope that the traffic comes today and buys everything. You all need to come to Miss Wendy's and buy everything. This is Unit 3B, right?
Yes, 3B.
Unit 3B on this Milford Road Esplanade. So you need to come on down here, and today you can get your pork, you can get your chicken and your okra fish with your cornmeal dumpling and provisions. And the provisions look really pretty. I'm sure you all saw that shot. The provisions look really, really pretty this morning, and you see the cornmeal dumplings have been rolled out there, so everything will be nice and tasty. Miss Wendy, I wish you the very, very best, and I do hope that the people will come, they will buy you out, and hopefully I might be able to taste a little sample of what is going on here, because it smells absolutely amazing. Yes. So I trust it also tastes amazing as well.
Well, you're the one to tell me how it tastes.
All right.
I will take what you tell me as a compliment. Right. So I will do it to the best of my ability, that I can be complimented well.
That's right.
Right? And what I have to say to the members of the public is that they seem to be forgetting that the Esplanade is a part of the environment in Scarborough. So I would like to tell the people of Scarborough and the environment to come on to the Esplanade and shop as well, and get a different taste of the food that does be prepared in town. Right? And not only just Scarborough and the environment, but the Caribbean, like in Trinidad and Grenada, when they touch on this island of Tobago, I would like them to come to the Esplanade. They just remember the name, the Esplanade.
That's right.
Scarborough Esplanade.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from Miss Wendy herself. Come down to the Milford Road Esplanade, and you can partake in all the lovely delicacies that are being sold here, and you can do your shopping as well. There's so many vendors on the Esplanade that you can enjoy their goods and services. But for now, we're going to wait until Miss Wendy finish cook, and we're going to take a sample, and of course leave that compliment for her.
Thank you.
can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO, and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
The best place to stay in Tobago is at Thorns Place with rates starting as low as 200 TT. Call or WhatsApp 745-7306 or 682-8676. We are located uptown Scarborough, 5 minutes away from the port. Remember, at Thorns Place, our aim is to make your stay safe and affordable.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Hi viewers, welcome back to Tobago Updates Television. And of course we are outside this morning. We are outside on the Scarborough Esplanade. Beautiful backdrop, the I Love Tobago sign. I'm so happy to be outside today. As you can see with my sunglasses on, the sun is actually directly in my face, so apologies for the look this morning, but it's needed. And we are talking sports. We're into the sporting segment this morning, and with me on set I have Secretary of the Bagatelle Dream Builders, Miss Dana
Cornell.
Dana Cornell, and we also have Mr. Nayamke Benjamin. I pronounced that right?
Of course.
Right, and we're talking about Fit to Fet this morning. Obviously, Carnival is on the horizon. Yes, Carnival is what, March 1st and 2nd?
Yes.
March 1st and 2nd. And you see all the gyms, all the fitness groups, they're having the aerobic burnouts and all these different things happening for persons to get themselves fit for the road, fit for Carnival. But we're talking Fit this morning.
Yes.
But before we get into the actual events, let me get an understanding of what this Bagatelle Dream Builders group is all about.
Okay, good morning everyone. A pleasure being here. Bagatelle Dream Builders. We are just some individual people that come together to bring activities to the community of Bagatelle, to bring back the positivity, to bring back the love into Bagatelle. We did some activities already which was successful. So we had our back to school drive, we had our 2-day workshop by Mr. Gen X, we had our fun day, and recently we had our Christmas party, which was a success. Right, and we just want to bring back the togetherness in our community, because you know how things is by doing sports, right, doing different activities, learning, and so many more, to come. So, in the future, right, we will be doing. So we just coming together to bring back that love, the togetherness, and activities in the community.
So why you? Why you decided that? You see me? I am going to start this group and I'm going to have this event. Yes, I understand that you mentioned that you want to bring back the love in the Bagatelle community, because you feel that the community not together anymore. But I mean, anybody else in the community could have probably said, let me do something different. But what made you think that you really had to get involved and do something like this and form yourselves into a group and do these different events for the community?
All right, good question. Because over the years, nothing has been done. So we as the group, we have great mind, same thinking. So we say, why not? Let's do it. Let's come together and do it. So we can't just wait for somebody, so we know that we have the drive and the motivation. So we did it.
So most of the events are conducted within the Bagatelle area?
Yes, it is.
Fantastic. And how many persons the group consists of?
9 members.
9
members.
9 members. Fantastic. So Nayamke, you told me that you are the grongsman. What does a grongsman do?
Well, grongsman mightn't sound important, but we actually are important. Right? So without us, we can't have no events. We just maintain the property. And these kinds of things.
So do you have a particular area that you have the events?
Yes.
That's where exactly in Bagatelle is that?
Bagatelle number 2. opposite, I don't know if you're familiar with Town's Guest House, opposite there's an open field.
Right.
So we also have our sign. We have our big sign, Dream Builders Bagatelle #2. So, and you could also find us on Facebook, on Instagram.
Right, so what are the handles on Instagram and Facebook?
All right.
Dream Builders.
Yeah?
It'll be Dream Builders.
Dream Builders.
On Facebook and Instagram.
And Instagram.
Yeah.
So that area that you all have access to, was it donated by the community or you all were able to purchase it?
No,
actually,
we rented it.
You all rented it?
Yeah.
Or from someone within the
Yeah, he was kind enough to tell us because he likes what is going on as well.
That's really good, and I'm hoping that within the whole group you have a lot of young people as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
The group is basically new. We are baby in this, right? So basically new. So that is why we have the drive, and as always believe in rising to the alpines of excellence.
I like that.
Yeah.
So let's talk about fit to fit now.
Yes.
Fit to fit.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, someone like me, I pass the criteria to be
man.
like.
Yeah.
Looking for someone like that. So let's talk about the event fit to fit. I mean, the idea behind the event.
All right. So we know Carnival is coming, right?
Yes.
Even though it's not Tobago Carnival, but it's Trinidad and Tobago.
Trinidad, yes, national
exactly.
carnival.
Yes. So we came up with this good idea. Why not fit to fit?
Yeah.
Everybody love to keep in shape. Well, I would guess everybody would like to keep in shape,
Yes,
you know?
especially for Carnival.
Especially for Carnival, right? So we say, hey, fit to fit. We're being fit to fit,
Yes.
right? So we came up and, we had some lovely, instructor. We have some lovely instructors on board, right, who are willing to come and drill us. So this is very exciting. I'm excited for this. So we have Zumba, we have yoga. Yoga is for one day on the 12th.
So when are you starting? What is the
On
first
the
day?
5th.
On the 5th of February?
Yes, and finishing on the 28th of
That's
February.
Fantastic Friday you're finishing
Yes,
off.
yes.
And I'm thinking that's on the Fantastic Friday is going to be like a big
last
celebration.
man standing, last man standing. Yeah, burnout.
So how can persons get involved in this Fit to Fit event?
Okay, the same thing. You can contact us at Dream Builders on Facebook. You can message us. Also, you can on IG, Dream Builders as well. You can also contact us at our number.
You can call us at 765-1493.
Right, and email us. You can email us at buildersdream71@gmail.com.
Say that again.
buildersdream71@gmail.com.
So you're catering for anybody.
Yes,
anybody can come and
yes.
participate.
The thing is, right, and it is so good to that it could be also you could bring it. We have no age, we have no limit, no age. So it's something
between Bagatelle area, anybody out.
Yes, of course. The invitation is open to all.
Yeah.
So you can bring your family. You know, it is to exercise with your family. Come on,
Yes.
So it's something that everybody can get involved with. You understand? Good to meet new people from around, and let's come. Everybody, let's come out and let's do this. Right? Fit to fit.
Yeah, and in terms of incentives, right? Is there any particular incentives for persons coming to join? I mean, outside of trying to probably lose weight or get in shape to fit into your costume, they got the best person within a particular age group. Any kind of incentives for persons joining?
All right. So we have gosh, you're making me take the basket. All right. All right. I'll give you a little tease, right? The last man standing. Right. Right, I'm not saying what it is, the last man standing.
Right.
The one who attend the most.
Yes.
Right?
The one who attend the most.
Right, the one who attend the most, last man standing, and elderly.
Right. So and how many days per week you having it?
All right, 2 days. So it's Wednesday at 5 p.m. to 7 and Friday at 5 p.m. to 7.
And any course attached to
no, and it's free. That's the best thing. No, man, this thing free, it's free. That's come out.
Yeah, and before we go, let's repeat the numbers again in which you can call or when you can get in touch.
Right.
You can call 765-1493.
Fantastic. Fit to Fit.
Yes.
Fit to Fit. It's all about Fit to Fit. We are just under 2 months again from Carnival, and even outside the Carnival period, I'm sure that you guys will want to continue.
Yes,
I was about to say that after the Carnival we'll be continuing.
Yes, you continue the program.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I want to commend you guys for not only this event but what you guys are doing for the community.
Thank you. I
have often said to people that it starts within the communities, and if you have young people, like yourselves, willing to take up the mantle, because sometimes it can be very challenging, frustrating when you don't have everyone coming on board and you alone seem like you're doing all the work in that sense. But you seem to have a good understanding. The 9 of you guys on the executive or the committee continue doing what you're doing for your community, and I'm hoping that others can join and do things within the community, not only fit, but you told me about Christmas thing you all will have done, and keep the young people engaged in the community. Of course. And thank you so much. And I mean, you guys did well. I mean, you are afraid to come on here. You know, I'm sure the whole of Tobago, Trinidad and Tobago, they are now aware of the Bagatelle Dream Builders and what you guys are doing, and I'm sure you're gonna have a good turnout for your fit to fit. And if you want an instructor, I could come through as well.
But of course, I'm not going to say that to you. Welcome, come true, yes.
I could do burpees only.
You're right.
So guys, we're looking to wrap up. But before we go, over the weekend we have the Tobago Cricket Association. They are going to be starting their 2025 domestic season. Tomorrow, we're going to have the opening at the Shopback Recreational Ground, the 5 overs knockout. All 7 teams will be on show at the Shopback Recreational Ground starting at 10 a.m. And then on Sunday, we're going to have the Tobago Cricket Association Cup starting at 11 a.m. all happening at the Shopback Recreational Ground. Cricket, lovely cricket. So guys, thank you so much for staying tuned to Tobago Updates Television. I'm going to throw you guys over to Luke and Natalie for Good Morning Tobago. But don't forget to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Fit to fit.
Fit to fit.
Yes.
We're thrilled to announce the Tobago Agri-Tech Innovation Summit 2024. This transformative event taking place from December 2nd to 3rd at the Shore Park Complex will focus on the theme Climate Change, Resilience and Adaptation in Agriculture. As the first of its kind on the island, the summit aims to position Tobago as a leader in agricultural innovation, addressing climate change challenges and showcasing agri-tech solutions that will shape how we grow our food, manage resources, and ensure our sustainable future.
The Tobago Agri-Tech Innovation Summit is about more than introducing technology. It is about creating a mindset shift. We want our farmers to not just survive, but to flourish in a modern, tech-enabled agricultural landscape. This event will provide practical training and workshops for farmers on digital farm management, precision agriculture, and innovative practices.
That was a production of the Department of Information of the Inventor of the U-Dazzle fashion ruler, Mrs. Rona Eastman Jack, is Tobago's foremost authority on intellectual property rights. She is sharing the benefit of her experience with Roxborough secondary students.
One of the greatest benefits is licensing my product to a company in Denmark. And if I didn't have the protection for it, he would not have taken it. So, and then I have the benefit of now looking to license in the United States. And even with my trademark, that's one of intellectual property rights. My trademark now is in multiple countries because of the Madrid Protocol. You have to have intellectual property, you have to have proof of ownership. And if you don't have proof of ownership, they will not take your product to license or sell it as an invention, because you could be an infringement on somebody else's own, and they don't want that. The companies that you license to don't want that problem.
It was inspiring to me that I got to meet one of an inventors from my country. So it was inspiring for me.
This year's theme is Women and IP, Accelerating Innovation and Creativity.
If you have it protected, then you skip the having to prove yourself, and then you would be able to say, no, I have my trademark for this. I have an industrial design. I have a patent. I have my poems or my book is copyright protected because it's original work. Your pictures are original. You know, you would be able to have those particular rights.
April 26th is World Intellectual Property Rights Day. Lectures were conducted at Roxborough Secondary School and Goodwood High School to mark the occasion.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
A good Friday morning to you. This is another episode of Auto Correct. And this is where we sit and we take the time to actually correct misconceptions in the space, to actually treat with questions, burning questions that you may have. And on Monday, when we had our Auto Focus episode, we started a series where we invite others to the podcast, because I really and truly want to share the opinions of others, which may or may not align with my opinion or the policy of the government. But the beauty about democracy is that we all should have a say in this matter of Tobago's self-government. And so this morning, I have Alia Chong with me. Alia Chong, a young lady from Plymouth, I believe. And in 2023, Alia graduated from St. Francois College out of New York and was awarded for the best thesis in global politics. Guess what was the title of her thesis? The title was Examining the Economic and Political Obstacles to Tobago's Self-Government. And I felt that absolutely brilliant. I don't know many young people who have pursued the issue of Tobago autonomy in their academic studies as you have. And so tell us about that, Alia. Tell us what motivated that, why Tobago self-government, why you're so interested in it to the extent that you made it the focus of your academic work, and that you were able to achieve an honors thesis in that regard.
Okay, well, fun fact, actually, I became interested in the topic from seeing your Facebook post about the topic, because prior to that, I was not aware that it was something being pursued. So I was scrolling on Facebook and I saw your post, and I was like, wow, that's actually amazing that I didn't know that was happening right in my own space. So from that, I wanted to learn more about it, learn more about the history, learn more about what it has to offer for Tobago and those kinds of stuff. So when we were doing the research for our thesis topics, I did not find that any of the offered topic resonated with me and what I wanted to do, because although I was studying abroad, I had a very keen interest in Caribbean affairs and most importantly, Tobago affairs. So I asked for exemption and I asked for the opportunity to explore that topic. And I was given the green light. I looked at interviews, other political persons in the space, economics interviews about the question. I read articles. I went and I read books. And I was like, wow, this is a long, long, long fight, and we're still fighting for it today. And I want to be able to contribute to that discourse and give a youth voice in that discourse.
So no, it's interesting your perspective that from just perhaps one of my random Facebook posts and if this is a Facebook post that you saw around what 2022?
2020 around there, yeah.
2020.
Because
so that was before before I became chief secretary.
Yes.
Oh well, in those days I posted a lot more on Facebook. So probably saw one of my usual rants about Tobago's treatment in the relationship between Trinidad and Tobago. Why do you think it's important for young people to have a voice and to participate in the autonomy conversations? Why is this subject matter, you think, important to young people like yourself?
Well, there's a misconception that autonomy is for the older folks and that they don't really see how it's applicable to young persons because the focus is more so how it will benefit the older generation. So it's important that we get involved because if it's achieved or when it's achieved, we will be the ones that have to carry on the battle and to see it through, right? So there's an argument that we should not support the push towards self-government because we don't have the human resources to have a sustainable economy and be governing, right? So with more persons involved, like myself, younger persons, we'll be able to add a youth perspective and basically give life to what we will want for ourselves in the years to come. So I think that's why we should be involved.
How old are you, Alia?
I'm 25.
25. So you're right. We expect your generation to carry on the baton. I mean, it bothers me that I'm not just walking into this thing already done, that we're still making the same arguments made in 1977 by Robinson and Winston Murray, that we're making the same arguments made by A.P.T. James before Robinson. And we're making the same arguments that essentially James Bigat was making in 1925 when he was arguing that, look, the Parliament ought to support Bishop's High School Tobago and give it the status of a government-assisted school, which they didn't even want. They didn't even want to give us a school because they felt the island just was beneath having a school. And it just feels as though we are making these same arguments generation after generation after generation. And it's bothersome to me that I am here making those same arguments. And it seems as though those that we're making the arguments to have bucket ears, as we say, the hard of hearing or the ears don't work. From a youth perspective, what would you do different? Let's say we are in the future and you are part of the team advocating for this. I am no longer here. So it's a hypothetical. I am no longer here. The generation of politicians we have now, we are no longer here. And you still have to carry on this fight for Tobago's right to self-government or self-governance. What would you do different? What would you add to the conversation that is not now in the conversation?
Firstly, I will try to focus on empowering the youths, right? Because currently and in the past, there's a heavy reliance on jobs within the public sector. So everyone wants a morning work, everyone wants a little CPEC 10 on, 10 off, right? Not many persons are focusing on empowering themselves. We need lawyers, we need economics, we need doctors, but we also need entrepreneurs as well. So I think focusing on empowering the youth to start a business, kind of like the program that's present in finance right now, basically give them the tools to empower themselves and make Tobago a bit more economic independent. Because some of the arguments that I saw when I was doing my research is that Tobago would not be able to economically sustain itself, right? And they don't have the tools. So focus primarily on economic independence first before political independence, right? So to start off with that, I think that we need both. And So empowering the youth to start their businesses.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear my neighbor. 60,000 people strong.
Good morning and welcome to GMT. Good morning, Tobago. I am Natalie C. Richardson. And of course, yes, I was on vacation and I'm back, and it feels awesome to be back with you this morning. And yes, I missed you all. We are coming to you live from downtown Scarborough this morning. Of course, we had Adana setting the paces. We saw Lou getting a manicure done, a pedicure. Maybe he did that off camera, but we know he did the manicure. So Luke is with me this morning and we will check out that hand to see how it has been. All right. And we want you to stay with us this morning. We have a special guest. We will introduce her after the news. And of course, Luke, I must tell you, good morning.
Good morning.
I don't think we ever hosted together.
We haven't, but it's always good to do things for the first time.
Definitely. It is still very early in the new year, 2025. And, you know, this is just a little encouragement. You can try new things too and see how it works. Maybe you wanted to do something and just keep putting it off. It is a new year and just try it. So I'm sitting with Luke James Trim, and Luke is going to lead us right into our news at this time.
Thank you, Natalie. This is your news in 90 seconds. National Carnival Commission Chairman Winston Peters confirmed that Carnival 2025 will cost taxpayers over $140 million. Despite this, competition prices remain unchanged due to the financial constraints. Peters emphasized adapting to the current challenges while highlighting increased support for unsponsored steel bands. Pan Trimbago distributed checks to 149 bands thanks to successful negotiations with the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and the Arts. President Beverly Ramsey Moore noted efforts to secure private sector funding, rebranding and attracting corporate sponsors. Allocations for single pan bands and conventional bands have risen to 10,000 and 20,000 respectively, aiding with preparations. The Trinidad and Tobago Unified Teachers Association cautiously welcomed Prime Minister-designate Stuart Young's proposed education reforms, which aims to shift from a colonial system to one reflecting TNT's culture and incorporating AI and technology. Tutor President Martin Lum King praised the acknowledgement of systemic issues but remained skeptical about political promises. He emphasized addressing broader challenges such as school infrastructure. The Pan Trimbago National Panorama 2025 Small Conventional Band Semifinals will be held on Saturday, January 18, 2025 at Victoria Square. A total of 31 small conventional bands, including 7 from Tobago, will participate in the competition. And that was your news in 90 seconds. Now, viewers, it's day 5 right here at Tobago Updates, where we are hosting the Beneath the Surface series. Natalie, were you tuned in for the entire week?
Oh, most definitely. And it's always good to have persons, you know, have that moment of self-reflection. And you get an insight into the assemblymen, because sometimes, you know, you just see them in the media quickly in their office, but you get a chance to listen to what were some of their plans, what they have accomplished so far and what they would like to do.
Lovely. So, Natalie, we have a very important guest this morning.
Oh, most
and I'm
definitely.
seeing that you were so relaxed on vacation, I'm going to give you the honors of introducing her this morning.
But before we introduce our guest this morning, you know, we're not just downtown Scarborough. We are on Milford Road, Esplanade. And of course, you know, the board of directors who oversee this, it's good to see something is happening. You know, I often pass by and I say, but here seems so underutilized. It has so much potential. But, you know, I think that the board of directors, they are doing something. You see people moving in and, you know, Adana and you interviewing the tenants. And I work not too far from here, and I didn't realize even, you had all those new tenants, and like I have to take a walk through.
Correct. And Natalie, if the viewers can notice, we are sitting very comfortable. We are looking good. This is something that you want to put in a gallery or probably outside your yard. So yes, viewers, our furniture this morning is proudly sponsored by Courts, located at the lower level at the Port Mall or even down at Gulf City Mall in Lowlands. So if you like what you're seeing, you know where to go.
You have to check it out and stress on the comfort, because I'm like, how long this show is. I like, I like the feel. I can spend all morning here. I mean, I'm in the cool, on the Esplanade, and people,
and the sea breeze feeling good too.
Yes, and you can bring your families. I think many of us here take our open spaces for granted, and you can bring your family, bring the kids. Sometimes I have 2 boys, and I always have to find space for them to run. Trust me. And sometimes after school or later when it gets a bit cool, I bring them here. I sit, I watch them, and they have a ball. They have a grand time. So this is ours. Let's use it, and of course support the local business people who are here and are offering us different products and services.
Correct.
So the moment has come. We need to introduce our very important guest this morning, and she's none other than Councillor Petalan Roberts. You may refer to her as the money woman, the boss lady, the one who controls how things go in terms of finances. Good morning, Councillor Roberts.
Good morning, Natalie, and good morning, Tobago. Good morning, Luke, as well. Thank you for having me.
It's always a pleasure. And of course, Luke, when we look at the Assemblyman, we're looking at 3 years in.
Correct.
But when we look at Councillor Roberts in as Secretary of Finance, Trade and Economy, it's not 3 years, right? It's just about 6 months and counting. We know that she was sworn in as councillor on June 27th, if I have my information correct, yes, and assumed the role as a secretary in the Division of Finance on the 28th of June. Of course, she's no stranger. You all think she's a newbie, but she has been crunching the numbers quite a while. So maybe just for the benefit of our viewers, share a bit about your past experience before assuming the role of secretary.
But before you begin, I'd like to take some of the kudos for the Esplanade, because the Esplanade does fall under the Division of Finance.
All right.
So the enhancements that you will see are really policy decisions under the Division of Finance, under the Scarborough Beautification Project.
Excellent.
So it's a collaboration between the Division of Finance, Division of Tourism, and in some instances, Division of Infrastructure.
Right, excellent.
So I'll get into myself now.
Yes.
Well, I am Petalan Roberts. I am a chartered certified accountant, so a fellow with ACCA. I'm also a chartered accountant under the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Trinidad and Tobago. I have been working in the Assembly for 15 years.
Right.
I worked in the accounting sphere. I was senior financial analyst, and then I became the chief management accountant. And then this opportunity came to become Secretary of Finance. So as you can see, I took the offer, and I'm here today.
And when you were approached, of course, so the opportunity came to you. Is it something that you knew right away, well, this is how I can maybe, implement more change or have more effect in terms of what I would like to see for my home? Or is it that you really had to take your time and consider, do I really want to sit as secretary? Because you have been working in the division, and of course you've been doing an excellent work. I know people who know you, it's not that you're working now because you're secretary, but your reputation in terms of work, getting things done a particular way, it's there, and we all know about it.
So it's a combination of both. So I did have to ponder, I did have to pray. But I also felt like if this was the opportunity for the change that we really needed to see, change is incremental. There's absolutely no way I could do this in 6 months.
Right.
I don't even think a year, not even a whole term politically. But I think that I have been making some strides. I think I have been impacting persons. I think I have been inspiring them, because one of the things I recognize is that people is most important internally and externally, our stakeholders and our internal stakeholders, which are the staff. So I started with bringing back that finance month, and where persons felt that they needed that camaraderie and fellowship and even the social setting in the office. There are persons who said they never knew the persons on the third floor, didn't know the ones on the first floor, and that kind of thing. So we did bring back a lot of social activities, whilst we did have the business community having conferences. We had business mixer for our corporate community. We had the schools, we went out to the schools, financial literacy, cooperative and consumer went out to the schools, and they had the engagements and sensitization with the school setting. So I have been working. It's exciting. It can be a challenge sometimes,
Right.
but I'm deeply thankful and grateful for this
Right.
opportunity.
Right. Excellent.
And you know, Ms. Roberts, listening to you speak, your professional background seems so wide and so amazing, and I want to commend you for that. But it makes me think about little Petal and growing up in Tobago, you know, in your village. I want you to talk to me about your upbringing as a young Tobagonian girl growing up, and how has your upbringing really shaped you now in terms of leadership and getting into finance and even politics? Because oftentimes, chatting with the politicians, when they speak about their childhood and their upbringing, it gives us an insight as to why they are where they are now. So talk to me about that.
Definitely, that's an excellent question. So I grew up in Scarborough. I don't know if you know, well, you might be too young, but Natalie, I don't know if you may know the Coppins. So my grandmother had one of the first nursery schools in Tobago. It's
Yes.
Coppin Nursery School.
Yes.
And then my mother took it on. So we all my siblings, we all went to Coppin Nursery School. Then we went to Scarborough Methodist School. But I think character is built from your challenges in your life. I wouldn't say I had many challenges, but there were challenges. One of them at primary school, my brother passed his first choice for Bishop's High School. So when it was my time, I didn't pass to Bishop's, I
Right.
passed to Scarborough Second. And seeing your colleagues and the ones that you felt that you were better in terms of academically, you were better than them, they went to school, their first choice and that kind of thing. But I was always focused. If you would ask anybody, it would be like, she was always a real focused individual. I'm very results oriented. My mother always woke me up, and I had to be in the kitchen with her when everybody else was in there, and I just couldn't understand it. But I think there are things in life that really shape us. After living in Scarborough, we went to live at Lowlands. And then I got married pretty young. I got married at 24. So I moved to Canaan, and I'm still married. I have 3 children.
Right.
But I think the things that happen in your life really challenge, and that they really shape who you are. And I think everything has just shaped me to who I am.
And you know, Miss Roberts, it's amazing you touched on being result-oriented, you know, being someone that is responsible, because those are the qualities that the island will expect from someone who is responsible for our finances. So you got the announcement, you were sworn in as councillor, you are now Secretary for Finance. Give us some insights to what was going through your mind in that moment, because it was a shock to some. Some expected it. I was like, yeah, Petalan, that's for her. But what went through your mind in that moment?
Luke, do you know that there are days when I have to pinch myself and tell myself, I'll be Secretary of Finance? I'm so serious. Because I'm humbled by it as well. I don't assume myself as Council and Secretary of Finance. I remain Petal Ann.
Right.
Because I don't know where this would take me. I did not harp on this, but I had to pray a lot. And I also had to have a lot of deep conversations with God, who I have a very, very intimate relationship with. So, as I said, I do have to pinch myself sometimes. So at the time, when I was being sworn in, it was poor reason for me. It was astounding. You know, when my brother would call and from Trinidad and say he's so proud, and I've seen family members saying, wow. There were people who told me I knew this all along.
Nice.
Now, I'll tell you another thing. During my career, lots of people would have said, you will become Secretary of Finance, and I used to say no.
You didn't see it.
I did not see it. And there are other things that, you know, really shaped this. I saw it coming with the experience that I've had both as senior financial analyst and chief management accountant, because I've seen it all. I've worked with Secretary of Finance, Dr. Anselm London. I've worked with Joel Jack. I've worked with the chief secretary, who's Secretary of Finance. I work with about 4 chief administrators.
Right.
So I've known it all. I know pretty much what could work. Sometimes at meetings, my advisor would say, well, Secretary, you seem to know everything inside out. Because sometimes I'll say, well, that wouldn't work, because I understand culture. I understand what it really takes to get things done. Although we don't see everything happening at the same time, I do believe if you give us the time in this administration, we will be able to better this place. And it also has to come with autonomy for Tobago.
You know, one of the things I respect about you in hearing you speak and present, because I've been afforded the opportunity to, you know, you mentioned the PR going out to schools and even the workshops and conferences, and I've been to a few of the conferences. And anytime you speak, because I don't like numbers. You know, to process it for me, it's, you know, sometimes you have something, you just have a fear of it. Now I do it. but I don't like it. And I listen to you explain different, processes and everything and the steps in terms of the tendering process, looking at the procurement law first that was implemented by central government. And like, she makes it sound so easy. So I really appreciate how you communicate and you are able to explain, because sometimes, when you meet with people who have been working in their field and they become so technical, that translation is definitely lost. But I think you have that gift where when you meet the general public and you're speaking to business owners, school children, you are able to relate in a way where we really understand. And I think in going forward and even being Secretary of Finance, when you have to explain, how all these things work, you are able to do so effectively.
And that's why I love the subject or the topic of the series that you're doing, Beneath the Surface.
Yes.
Because I want Tobagonians to understand the challenges beneath the surface and what it takes to get things done.
Yes.
I'll say another thing too. It takes a humble person to be able to not get too technical and try to reach everyone at the point of their need and the point of their understanding. So I try my best to do the job in that way and to communicate that way as well.
Yeah. And just being on the job for just over 6 months, of course there are challenges, there are things you would have been able to accomplish. How are you able to implement the vision and mission of the division in terms of overseeing and the management of the economy? A lot of time when we hear from this division, we hear about the financial aspect, but you have the trade, you have the overall economy. How are you able to ensure that your strategies, your goals line up with the vision and mission?
That's an excellent question as well. As Secretary of Finance, since I came into office, there are two things that one started before I came into office, and one of them I initiated as policy. So we're now looking at a trade unit, and that's really to facilitate trade and have our entrepreneurs and our SMEs and MSMEs, give them the opportunity to export and to get to export readiness. Let them know what it requires in terms of regulations and that kind of thing. And we also have the Tobago Development Bank, which started prior to me being sworn in and coming in as Secretary of Finance. But those two things, I think, will accelerate a lot of things for us in the economy. As I said, it would take time. This economy has been a bit slow. Predominantly the THA is in terms of percentage does most of the employment, and then what we do, we pump a lot of resources into the MSME sector.
Right.
So this week I gave grants. We granted these up to $25,000 grants to these MSMEs in Tobago, and they may be the ones to spin the wheel in the economy. Right. They are the driving force. But I think we have, I know there is more work to do. There's more opportunities for growth for entrepreneurs, more opportunities for growth from the MSME sector to the SME. And one of the things I told them at the grant distribution ceremony is that we really try to do our part. But entrepreneurs have to be risk-taking. They have to be the ones to keep the business doors open. They have to be the ones to be committed, disciplined. And we are not seeing that consistency in business. From the time a day you have no one come, you close up shop and you become inconsistent. Being very predictable as well in the sector. So we have to get there. It's a partnership between the government and the private sector.
Yes.
And we are really, really trying to do our part. I'm not saying that we have done it perfectly, but I think that we are on the right path and we will get there.
Okay, great. And Secretary, on the surface level, when you hear Secretary for Finance, the first things that come to your mind is managing the funds. But if we delve into conversations about Tobago's autonomy, there is the issue of the island always having to depend on central government for revenue, for income, for money. So I want you to walk me through some of the strategies you would have implemented or you would like to implement that will reduce the island's reliance on central government for revenue so that we can be an island that can generate our own funds.
One of them is the Tobago Development Fund. It's not, we don't call it a bank because we would not be able to do things that a bank does. So it's called a fund, and in that fund we will be sourcing investments as well. So we would not only provide capital in terms of long-term capital, but we'll also be sourcing investments externally. That's one. Two, I would really like to see the day when our legislation allows us to go out and borrow. We have access a bond, but the liabilities of the assembly are so large, and that's why I have not been able to access the balance of the bond, because in 2027 we'll have to make a bullet payment of 165 million.
Wow.
So you can imagine a bullet payment of 165 million, and our development budget is about 200 billion from central government. So there are a lot of things that I would like to do, but the way in which the legislation or relationship with our sister in Trinidad is, at this time we are really hamstrung. But we are doing our best. The best that I can do right now is launch that Tobago Development Fund, whereby we will try to really stimulate and accelerate the Tobago economy by going out and having some investments in Tobago.
And you know, Ms. Roberts, we are enjoying the conversation. The conversation seems to be a very interesting one, but we have to take a quick break and we'll be right back. So viewers, stick with us. We're going to take a quick break. Just remember to share the live, share the live, share the live, and we'll be right back.
When the game is on, you don't want to miss the best moments. With Amplia TV, you can enjoy our ultimate sports package and watch your favorite games on the go. Stay connected and informed with sports news, scores, and stats with Amplia's fastest internet speeds. Up to 1 gigabyte fiber internet, you can stream riveting football action, cricket, NBA games, and much more. With Amplia, it's game on. Visit amplia.co.tt or call 800-4663. Amplia. Do more, live more.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Springs. Contact 49 Swift 4979 438.
Rotisserie, mouth-watering fries, salads, combos, and specials galore. Feeling for something to eat? Come and see. Our rotisserie is seasoned to the T. Kicking chicken, masala, and jerk roast. Crispy fries made from scratch. Who do you know can beat that? Or salads freshly cut and packed. When you taste it, you'll be wanting to come back. So come check us out on number 2 Robinson Street, Uptown Scarborough, Tobago. We open on Saturday nights from 7:30 to 11:30 p.m. Monday to Thursday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. and on Friday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us at 772-7443 and all social media handles at The Rotisserie Factory.
Welcome back, viewers. Thank you for staying with us. You are viewing GMT this morning, and it's a beautiful sunny Friday morning, and we are on the outside. I am Natalie C.D. Richardson, and I have the pleasure of sitting with Luke James Trim, and we both have this wonderful opportunity to sit with Councillor Petalyn Roberts, Secretary in the Division of Finance, Trade, and the Economy. So if you are now joining us, don't just sit there. We want you to share that link. Somebody needs to hear about what's going on. So share the live and be informed. So, Councillor, of course, you know, there are successes, and with everything that's great, you will have challenges. What are some of the challenges when we think about the appropriation, you know, the budget allocation coming to central government? What are some of the challenges that the division meets when we talk about that?
That indeed is a challenge for us, both in terms of the amount and how we get it, how we actually access these funds, and the way in which we access this. The law says one thing, but what actually happens is not in line and aligned with the law.
Right.
So in the first instance, we had asked for 5.8% of the national pie. I had 2 physical meetings with the minister. I did request it verbally. We did request it via the budget, the draft estimates of expenditure. And well, he did not give us a positive response when we went verbally in, I think we went in August 30th, and then we went back in September to deal with some other pressing matters that we could not deal at that initial meeting. So the allocations, we couldn't even beforehand predict how much it would be.
Right.
He did indicate that 5.8 would be a lot, and it would also mean reducing the allocations for ministries in Trinidad. And we found that to be a disadvantage to us. Because Tobago's economy has been a particular way, and that's because of lack of funding. And I'm sure you would agree with me that money is really is a critical success factor in a lot of things.
Definitely.
So that is one. So we did a draft estimates of expenditure with a budget of 5.8 million, 1 billion being towards our capital development, and then the 3.8 towards, or the 2.8, sorry, towards recurrent expenditure. And that did not happen. Eventually, we got about $2.5 billion. URP and CPEP remained the same, despite the fact that they raised the public server, some aspects of the public service by $2.
Yes.
And we continue to get 18 million for URP and 9.2 for CPEP. So you can imagine the expectations of workers and our allocations remain the same. And we just have to try to make it work in the interest of Tobagoans. So I'm glad that this is beneath the surface, because beneath the surface we have so many challenges whereby the expectations are not really in line with the realities that we face. So that's another thing. So we are managing what we receive. However, the law in the Tobago House of Assembly Act states that we must receive these monies in a particular way. And that is for us to plan and be able to manage it effectively. You're supposed to receive our allocations quarterly or block in advance. So it means that you must give me at the beginning of the quarter in whole every quarter.
Right. So that you have the money there so you can spend for that.
That's
quarter.
right.
Right.
Rather than, as Secretary of Finance, I cannot tell you when I'm going to receive my next allocation. Next tranche of releases. As a matter of fact, we only received for January and February, we received that last week.
Right.
Sometime last week, maybe Thursday or this week. Either last week or this week. But I can't tell you when I would receive March. That is what is happening in this space. And then I have to activate an overdraft facility, which is very costly. It's at 8% with the bank. And the overdraft interest is something that I don't cater for in the draft. We don't cater for that in the draft, especially because we can't really tell how much it is, and we can't make a provision for it. Because we expect, according to the law, to receive allocations in a particular way. So when persons are quarreling and complaining about the lack of payments, it's a result of how we receive the allocations from Trinidad. So that's a real pain for us. I've spoken to the minister about it and the impact of that, because we have overdraft interest right now, an accumulation of it of about $50 million. And I'm not kidding you. I'm not over exaggerating. It is the reality, because we do not receive our allocations.
And that's an expenditure that doesn't have to be included.
Correct. $50 million is a lot. As a matter of fact, it affects my cash liquidity right now. So if the government sends 200 million for me today, I really have 150 in the bank account because I've utilized an overdraft facility. So that is one of the situations that we face. So the expectations of the public to this government in Tobago is really affected by that situation. Another thing is, because of this offsetting arrangement, I was telling the chief technical advisor, I don't know where else in the world has an arrangement like this, whereby we collect our revenues and it is offset against the appropriation. We sometimes lose in that vein. 2 reasons. One, we do our accounting manual, and that's another challenge that we have. Where we have Caribbean stakeholders like CARTAC, or anyone that is coming to look at the THA, they are astonished because they said, but we don't know any island government that is manual.
Right.
We are purely manual. So the collection of revenues and the reporting of that is done manually, and therefore anytime you are manually doing anything, it's subject to human error.
Yes.
And it may not be accurate to the cent. And therefore, when we say to Trinidad, this is the revenues that we have collected, they will just give us the difference between it. And sometimes we don't even get the difference.
Right.
And it's on the last day of the fiscal year. It's difficult to spend millions of dollars on the last day because there's a process to spend, especially with procurement and all of that.
And just for the benefit of the viewers, I want you to describe manually, because people may think they know what it is, but explain a bit. Just give us an example.
I'm happy you said that. So, naturally, you're a consultant with the Tobago House of Assembly, you're going through the procurement process, you've provided a service.
Right.
Manually to the point, when your invoice gets to accounts, it's written in the transaction is written in a vote book. Your schedule, that's a document that goes with the invoice and the voucher. And that is also written in some division, because some divisions have computerized it. Everything else, from the typing of the check, it's on a typewriter.
Yes.
That is, everything is literally written. The bank reconciliations are manual. There is no software that matches the check that is issued and the check that is in the bank. In Excel, we can do that. And I, as chief management accountant, I have designed spreadsheets where you can match these things easier, so you can do your bank reconciliations easier. But basically, when I say manual, it's actually handwritten, and you are doing it predominantly in Excel. There is no software. And that's another situation that we face. The government, I think in 2014, went to the IDB and they got a loan to start the project to digitize the processes, both accounting and budget processes, of the state, of the public service. Tobago House of Assembly was a pilot in that. But I think people feel, as particularly in Trinidad, that how we do things in the public service in Tobago, you can mirror that in Trinidad and vice versa. And it's absolutely different. And basically, because we have a legislation that governs Tobago, we have the Tobago House of Assembly rules as well that governs how we do things. And we also adopt and are regulated by the regulation, the financial regulations, the Exchequer and Audit Ordinance, the financial instructions. So there are so many regulations that also govern how we do things. But in Tobago, there are two other documents that we are governed by and regulated by. And that is the law, the Act, and the Tobago House of Assembly rules. And we still utilize these documents. So when we were going ahead with the project, there were many hurdles that came up, because the same prescribed way of implementation that they tried to bring to Tobago, and then we came to a standstill. However, last Friday, I did have a meeting with the Ministry of Finance in advancing the project, and that was after me, vociferously going after them and saying, listen, I cannot wait, because we are using bank accounts, and every division, all the resources is lumped into one bank account where we draw on. And can you imagine how painful it is to reconcile a bank account with all these transactions? So we do have challenges. I would love to go out to market and get a software, but the government has already made that investment. We have already trained our staff. We have procured resources for this project. But the government did indicate last week they are ready to give us the opportunity, and I did give them some conditions. I said, let us lead it from the front. You will give us the support, because we know the culture, we know the systems in Tobago. And I'll tell you, one of the things that caused the hurdle why we didn't go any further was because of how we bank. In Trinidad, they draw on the consolidated fund, they draw on the central bank. We don't draw, we have no business with the central bank in Tobago. We actually use commercial banks. So we have accounts at 2 commercial banks, and that's how we do business. They did not know that.
So it's vastly different. It's vastly
different. Even the offsetting arrangement, I don't think the software had any provisions for that. One other thing is that in Trinidad, they don't use ACH, which is Automated Clearing House. That is where we transfer to make payments rather than check. In Trinidad, they predominantly use check. We use ACH for 95% of our payroll. Right. So most persons in the Tobago House of Assembly do not go to the bank and cash a check, but the monies go directly to their account. Right. So the software was not designed for that. Although they did say, you know, they can make those configurations, right? So there are so many challenges and hurdles that we encounter, and it's not that we are just sitting there not doing anything, but we are encountering a lot of challenges in getting things done. I'll give you another example where we are trying to advance the Tobago Development Fund, and we have to have a non-objection letter from the Ministry of Finance so that we can access technical assistance from the Inter-American Development Bank, the IDB. Because the Minister of Planning is a governor in the IDB. We wrote, we spoke, and we are not getting the non-objection letter. Right. These are some of the challenges. I've written to the minister again within the last month. I wrote him in December, just reminding him of some of the things that need to be done here in Tobago. One of them being that overdraft interest, letting us get our releases in line with the law. I raised the TTRA issues in Tobago, and that's another thing. The TTRA implementation in Trinidad, there's no advancement in Tobago. Right. Many hurdles, but we continue to press on.
And before Luke chimes in, I really want to just speak to our viewers for a moment and encourage them to share the live, and even, you know, encourage people to listen to this interview, because as you rightfully said, I don't think we, Trinidad and Tobago, understand. We listen to the little headlines, the little clips in mainstream media, or what politicians may have to say, and we don't understand what's going on here. And you have to have an appreciation for the struggles and understand why this call for, you know, autonomy is so important to the people in Tobago. So, you know, let's get off all the bandwagons we love to jump on as a people. And this is where we are. This is where we live. Whether you're a Trinidadian, Tobagonian, and you're here, this is home. And you need to understand what's really going on and not just listen to sound bites from people. So I really appreciate, you know, you sharing the struggles, some of the challenges. And I know that you all are working hard to overcome it, you know?
Okay, thank you, Natalie. Secretary, listening to the conversation, one word that's going through my mind is literacy. Because when you think about, especially with the autonomy bill, when you're hearing words like the average citizen in Tobago, you're hearing the words like autonomy, constitution, maritime borders. These are words that you don't usually learn in our education system. So when you hear people speak about those conversations, it's very difficult for us to chime in and understand. So, you know, where finances are concerned, a country or an island's development is just as good as the development of its people. And for us to understand terms such as overdraft, cash liquidity, recurrent expenditure, and fiscally, and all those, the vernacular that shapes the financial conversation, it makes me question, as Secretary, what are your goals to improve the financial literacy among the residents of Tobago?
Thank you for that, because we take it for granted that people understand and know what you're talking about.
Yes.
And I'm happy you raised that. And, you know, with that question, it really expanded the vision that I should have to get down into these figures. I'll tell you something. When I first started in the Assembly, ACCA is a globally recognized accounting profession. There is no paper that teaches you public sector accounting. None. So when I came, there are a lot of words I didn't understand. Warrant, releases, offsetting of revenue. I knew revenue in the sense of revenue generation and not revenue collection in terms of taxes. So there's a lot of learning I had to do. And I really appreciate the people that really trained me, like Mrs. Jennifer Lizama, Dr. London. Those were the persons that I was under at the time. And I did some research myself. The financial literacy unit, they usually do a series of things. They have the annual work plan with literacy and sensitization and education drives. And, you know, when I first came to office, I told him more about, as a contract officer, we don't recognize that we don't get a pension. And a lot of people, they take their gratuity and they spend, they buy a car, they buy things that don't generate any revenue. I said to the head at the time, I'd like you to do a series on that. But because you have drawn to my attention the need for people to understand the public service terminology, the things that people say, and I would come out and say some things. Chief Secretary Farley Augustine would also send them about persons who would not understand. It would be my responsibility to get that kind of education and sensitization done.
Okay,
so I will take that up.
No problem, Secretary. So we have to take a quick break and we'll be right back. Just remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supply specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Attention, members of TWCU Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited. Are you ready to take the next step and help shape your credit union's future? This is your chance to get involved. We're now accepting nominations for elections at our 75th Annual General Meeting 2025. Open positions include spots on the Supervisory Committee, the Board of Directors, and the Credit Committee. Nomination packages are available on our website www.twcu.co.tt, or you can pick one up at our Port of Spain or Tobago offices. The completed forms can be dropped off at the said offices or emailed to nominations@twcu.co.tt no later than January 17th, 2025 at 3 p.m. For more information, visit our website at www.twcu.co.tt. Don't miss this opportunity to make a difference. Apply today and guide the future of your credit union. TWCU Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited. Our credit union, one family.
Morning, morning, good morning, morning. Put a
Rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear my neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power, we are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers, we are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying Tobago is number one.
Welcome back, viewers, to Day 5 here at Tobago Updates as we are continuing the Beneath the Surface series. We are here chatting with Councillor Petal and Roberts, and you know, as you are viewing us, you can see that we're sitting very good. If you can see this set today, it's a new set different from the one yesterday. So yes, our furniture is probably sponsored by Courts. If you want to check them out, if you want to find what they have to offer you, they are located at the lower level at the Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago, and at Gulf City Mall in Lowlands, Tobago. Now, Secretary, when we watch the budget, when we go on social media and see where the funds are allocated, not everyone is pleased with where the money goes. And, you know, as Secretary of Finance, you have to handle that. You have to handle people asking the questions, the whys. Why did it give us more money? Why did it put the money there? Why is the money going there? Why you all need money in that division? And it makes me question, how do you handle that public scrutiny where financial decisions on your end or even the chief secretary's end is concerned?
Once you're doing anything on behalf of 60,000 people and beyond, you will come into question. You can never please everybody all the time, every day. I do agree that we should do a little more consultation with the public, but that can prolong the implementation of anything. I try as much as possible at all times to do things with a level of integrity so that if anything comes into question, I will be able to justify and say, yes, this was done because of so and so. So what we do, we follow policy. We don't do our own thing. There are policies set by the administration, and the policies are not necessarily set by one person, but as an administration. And therefore, we follow what the policy says. We have a budget statement, and as I did indicate to Natalie before and to Tobago, that we do a budget statement in June, and then we have to come back and reprioritize. And that exercise in itself is a tedious one because you have to now reshape and rethink what you wanted to do. And then you feel so hamstrung and you feel so like you can't do so much that you have promised Tobago in your initial budget that you're going to do. But at the end of the day, everything that we do it in line with regulations as much as possible. And public scrutiny, I'm in public life. I'm the Secretary of Finance responsibility for 2.5 billion of Tobagonian dollars. So therefore, I would even admonish secretaries to ensure that whatever you are doing, it is in line with the law, it is in line with the regulations, it is in line with the policies of the administration.
And I know one of the projects undertaken by the division was to digitize the THA tendering process. Can you give us an update on where that is?
So that project started whilst I was at the office of the Chief Secretary, and the Chief Secretary is the head, finance is the heart of the THA. And I've moved to the heart, I'm no longer at the head, but that project, according to the Executive Council at the time, it was going to be led by both divisions. So now I'm Secretary of Finance, and since I have all the institutional knowledge and so forth in this project, I am now leading that. The challenge was to find a petalad in the administrative arm of the THA. But instead we have decided to co-opt a team and have a leader of that team. We actually are supposed to meet with the provider of that software, eTender, on Monday. I'm to have a meeting with that provider and the arms of on the THA side about advancing that project. So soon we'll be seeing the first thing that should come on board is a sensitization, not a sensitization, we did a sensitization for vendors, but training for vendors. And we'll try to find the best, most efficient way to get the information out there, because can you imagine trying to train? We did physical training for the staff, all procurement, all stakeholders internally, they were trained behind a computer in a room.
In a contained space.
In a contained space. But can you imagine for us to get all the vendors in Tobago to be trained? So we did have a plan previously, but you know, things are fluid, we are in a dynamic environment. So we're now looking at the implementation schedule again. Who is going first? Finance will be going first in terms of e-tender. So you will be getting your tendering done under the Division of Finance through a digitized solution very, very soon. And also we are going to also at the same time implement within EID cut and I think Tobago Tourism Agency. So we're going to just go through the implementation schedule. We're going to go through the strategy of implementing that project going forward.
And of course, you would have shared some of the challenges, experience within, you know, your 6 months as a secretary. And if you can share 1 or 2 success stories when you went in, this wasn't being done, and you got it done, and you feel great about it.
I think the strides that we are making in the loan guarantee program, we have a loan guarantee program that is almost ready to be launched. I feel that that will come very, very soon, and I feel a sense of pride with that because that's another option. We are not providing finance, just as BDU and venture capital, but what we are doing, there are business persons out there in the SME and MSME sector, and even the larger sectors, who are credit worthy, but they do not have access to collateral. We will be providing that capital on behalf of these applicants. So you have your normal lending criteria in your commercial bank. You go to a commercial bank and get that. So we are almost ready for that one. And as I did indicate earlier, people to me are the most important resource. People are satisfied, you get the most out of them. They become more efficient and productive. In the Division of Finance, when I got there, I felt that there was no cohesiveness. People didn't have a sense of belonging. There were so many issues people-wise. I think I've started to make the investment in people, both inspirationally and otherwise. We're looking at a lot of training programs for the staff at the Division of Finance. I actually wanted to start the year with there's an inspirational speaker and a pastor. I wanted to start the year with that for the heads of department, but we're going to do it within the next 2 weeks instead of the beginning of the year because of procurement processes and so forth. But the investment in people, I feel a sense of achievement with that, and I will continue to do that. I make myself very accessible to the staff, to the heads. I allow them to bring proposals to me. I don't only set the policies that I want, but I hear from them and I say, what do you want? You bring the proposal to me, let us go through it together. And that's how I basically run the division. Excellent.
Great. And you know, Secretary, listening to this interview, I think we can all agree that we understand what the island of Tobago means to her professionally.
Yes.
But you know, since we're on beneath the surface, I want you to walk us through beneath that surface. What does the island of Tobago mean to you personally?
Tobago is home. It's a beautiful place. I'll tell you, when I look at drone shots, I am in awe. Sometimes I cannot even believe. I think we are a different type of people as well. And when you go to foreign countries, I've been to several islands, I've been to the States, I've been to first world countries. Tobagoans are very unique. They are my people, and I'd really like to see us develop. I have one thing to say to Tobagoans. I think we are the change that we want to see. That is one of the reasons why I took this position too. There were changes I wanted to see. I was complaining. I complained for years about a lot of things. But I'll tell you, beneath the surface, it's easy to criticize when you're on the outside, but when you're inside, I see the challenge. But at the same time, we complain bitterly about a number of things. And I think that we are the solutions to our problems. So Tobago, to me, is home. I think we have so much potential. Where we are positioned geographically, because we are at the bottom doesn't necessarily mean that we have to behave that way. I think that, as I said, Tobagonians have what it takes for Tobago to become the greatest little island on the planet. So for Tobago, I would always tell entrepreneurs, be consistent, have discipline, keep your doors open, be comely, be nice, be courteous. Because we can become our own enemies as well. And even in the political struggle, sometimes we are the ones that do not cause the advancement of the island because of politics. And I wish sometimes when I go to see the minister that we could see things as they are and not really through political lens. And I came in here as councillor, I didn't come in as a politician. And I really hope that one day we can surpass all of these things and really get to a place where we can advance Tobago truly without the encumbrances.
And I need to ask you, what is your anchor? Because you're in the public life, you're now a politician, whether you like it or not. You're now a secretary, you still have your personal life, you still have your own personal struggles that you probably don't speak about. And, you know, it's always important to have that community of persons who will keep you grounded, who will give you that support, who will wipe your tears and say, keep going. In your life as Petal and Roberts, who are those persons?
God.
Okay.
God is my anchor.
Nice.
When I came into this, there's only two, I would call God a person. Two persons that once they gave me the go ahead, I'll do it. It was God and my husband. So if my husband said no, it was a no. When I went to him, and I said that had to be God too because I thought he would have had a lot of questions. And I did indicate to him that same change you want to see. I said, there's certain things I don't like and I think that I could make those changes. And he said, if you feel like you can make the changes, go for it, right? My children, I have 3 little children, 2 at Bishop's, 1 at the primary school level. And there's a legacy I don't want to leave. You know, people usually want to leave a legacy. There's a legacy I don't want to leave. I don't want my children in the future to say, Mommy, what did you all do to us? In terms of the things that we have to fix, the foundation that we set for them. I really feel that I have to do this for my 2 children, their colleagues at schools. I have nieces, nephews, I have friends with children, and I'm really doing this as my anchor, and that's my motivation to keep on going, because I feel that the impact I would make, I don't know if it would be 18 months, I don't know if it would go beyond, but I trust God that He will use me for His purpose in a time like this.
And what are some things you do to relax? Because I know you probably have, you have so much doing, whether you're traveling, you're here, meetings, running the division of finance. As you say, it's the heart, it's a lot. You have to keep that going, else all can fall apart. What is something that you like to do, if and whenever you may have that few spare moments?
Alone time. I wish I could have more of that. And alone time, not only in Tobago, but anywhere.
Right.
I could travel alone, and I'll be good. I'll be fine. There are books that I like to read. Actually, in the break, I was telling you about a book that really motivates me, it pushes me, it helps me. It's The Purpose-Driven Life. And there are other books that I read that really give me that drive and really help me understand purpose, and what I'm doing is not just for me. There's a bigger purpose in that.
Right.
It's really, really difficult balancing the two. There are things that don't get done in your personal life, and sometimes I wish that the work they had more hours. Every day for this week, I've gone home and it was night. It was dark. Yesterday, I tried my best. I said I need to go home and it's bright. The children have assignments. There's so many things I would like to do, but for a time like this, I'm committed, and I will do what it takes, the best that I can in the time that I have.
And I think that's a good way to end at this time, Luke, hearing from the secretary, getting even to understand you more in interviews like this. And that's why I think it's so important, when we have series like this, we meet a person. As I said when we began, you see them in the media, you see them at conferences, etc. But these are human beings with their challenges, with their victories, just giving what they can. And I just want to say, thank you for what you do, because it is a sacrifice. You have your family that will have to do without you at times, because you're running the heart of Tobago. And on behalf of the people in Tobago, even those who quarrel and complain, you have those here. They have to be part of us still. Thank you for what you do and for all that you will do in getting Tobago where it needs to be.
Thank you very much.
Secretary, I want to thank you for agreeing to sit down in the surface chair today. I think the conversation was a very, very healthy and fruitful one. I think if anyone sits down and listens to this interview, it's going to enhance their perspective about a lot of things that goes on in the island. So I want to thank you for that again, viewers. The couch and the seats are sponsored by Courts, located at the lower level in Port Mall and Gulf City.
And Luke, we could have sit for next hour.
We could have. It's so comfortable.
You understand? We could have sit for another hour.
So viewers, thank you for tuning in. This is the end of this episode of Beneath the Surface. For those of you who are loyal and tune in every day, thank you for believing in the vision. Thank you for believing in the impact Tobago Updates has on the island. We'll be back again next week for another series, so just stay tuned. And remember to share the live, share the live, share the live, and have a great weekend.